subscribe to James the Sheriff Dixon, you motherfucker.
This is Fun Times with the Sheriff, the season 6 premiere. I got Riven on, who's a. I watched her on Twitch. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I am Ribbon Mochi, also known as Ribbon. I'm a digital artist and VTuber and a fan of James's channel. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah. So I guess, like I said, I can just jump right into it. So, the best slash worst movie. So I guess I'll go first. The best movie I've ever seen is Jurassic Park with the very first one. I can go on a rant because I hate Jurassic World with Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, can't blame you on that one.
Oh yeah, no. The last two Jurassic Worlds I hated, where they made the little clone girl, whatever. I hated that one. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a bit rough.
But yeah, the very first Jurassic Park one. You saw they're coming up with a new game, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a survival horror game that the fans have been waiting for years. It takes place right after the helicopter leaves the island. The game.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the Jurassic Park is my favorite movie. I saw it when I was 4, and that's what got me into movies.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh yeah. My cousin showed me it, and that's what got me into movies. But and then the worst one, you probably heard me talk about this multiple times. Grave of the Vampire. It's on YouTube. It's in the public domain. I have not gone back to it since. It's about this vampire has a son, and his son tries to find his dad, and it's the whole thing. It's terrible. I fell asleep on my first watch through. Halfway through the second watch through, I fell asleep again, and I was just like, I'm not gonna do this, and I just put out. It's the Grave of the Vampire is the worst one I've ever seen.
I'll be sure to avoid it.
So, what are your the worst and your favorite?
So I have to say my favorite at the moment, I've been kind of on a Ghibli binge. So Kiki's Delivery Service is definitely my favorite at the moment. I wouldn't say I have a favorite of all time. I feel like I go through different cycles of watching different sorts of films. But yeah, at the moment, Kiki's Delivery Service for sure.
I understand not being like a film buff person, like not having a favorite of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to watch all sorts of films, so I feel like it's not fair for me to be like, oh, this one's the best one, because like there's so many different genres and different styles of film that, yeah, I can't just pick one, you know?
Yep. What would be the worst one? Because I know everybody has like that one that
Yeah, I feel like the Babadook probably.
Oh.
It's pretty bad.
That's on my list. I have not seen that yet. But yeah, that's on my list. People have told me to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like with that film, you're in like one of two camps. Like it's either so bad that it's good, or it's just kind of crap. So I feel like I fall into the latter. I'm not usually a huge fan of like the horror genre, but
I love
yeah,
horror. That's that I love. Yeah.
I love people like other people watching and reviewing it more so than me being in the watching seat.
Yeah, and I also heard it's like a gay icon or something.
Oh, I love that so much. I like that side of it, even though that's not like official or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, we got that out of the way. Which one do you want to go off of? Do you want to? I kind of want to know your thoughts on The Walking Dead. Because you said you watched the first couple of seasons, right, when it first aired.
Yeah, so that was a little while ago. So I did have to watch a few recaps to kind of like catch up with the story. And there's obviously new characters now, so I'm like watching the final episode, like, oh gosh, who's that one? When did they come in?
And then seeing that end credit scene where Rick was away from the group or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a really satisfying ending, and it definitely leaves you wanting more. You're like, okay, now what's next, you know?
The next big show is, like I told you, there's like 4 different spin-offs. Like 2 of them are really bad. The one that's right now is Daryl's which is really good. I think you told me you liked Daryl, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. My favorite's personally Carol. I think I've mentioned that before on your streams, but yeah, my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite is Carol. And she's gonna be the main character of season 2 of Daryl. And the next big TV show is Rick's show, which is gonna explain what has happened to him after he left the show in season 9.
Yeah, where's he been? What's he doing? I want to know.
Yeah, it comes on in February, and one of the spin-offs actually explains it. He's being held captive in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, I think I have seen like the previews of it, like what little trailer sort of footage we have at the moment. But I think I feel like personally, I'm probably just gonna watch your reviews, see what you think.
World Beyond, the show I'm talking about, it was the kid one. They tried to like make popular with the kids. They tied it in with Rick disappearing, and he was that's what they ended. They only did 2 seasons, and it ended with us showing where Rick is being held captive.
Yeah, I feel like you can't really change your audience at this point. Like, I feel like it has such a devout fandom that like they just need to keep doing what they're doing. They don't really need to pivot that much away from what they're currently doing.
Yeah. Before we pivot on to creator, I want to go on Fear though, because you've seen some of Fear, right? Or no? In the 8 years it's been on Fear the Walking Dead.
I don't think so.
It's
I wouldn't be able to comment.
But yeah, Fear the Walking Dead, the first 3 seasons were good, and then Morgan joined the show, and then it went bad. Yeah,
that can be like quite sad when they introduce someone new and it kind of changes the dynamic of the current characters.
It's Morgan, the guy that saved Rick in the very first episode. That Morgan.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
No, they weren't. Yeah, he joined the show and it went bad.
Oh, that's a shame.
That's what everyone said.
Yeah.
The only reason I kept watching was because season 7 was such bad acting. The actors did not give a. I can swear on my channel. They did not give a fuck.
Okay.
They did not give a fuck about their acting. Like, God.
No shit's given.
No. Yeah, no, that's Walking Dead. I think they're all on Netflix, right? I believe. Because I think.
Yeah, it was on Netflix for me.
Yeah.
I know it can vary country to country, so sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not.
So, okay, we can talk about what I think. Well, until I see the new Godzilla movies, I've been hearing that's like the big rave now. Is Godzilla -1? Because I've been hearing great reviews, and I'm currently watching the Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which is also really good. Which is surprising. There's 2 Godzilla shows out now that are doing great in the box office.
I definitely want to check those out.
I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, or if you were a fan of Godzilla, because I was talking to my producer friend, and he's like, "Oh, I don't fuck with Godzilla. I know there are people that know of it, but don't watch it. They're like big fans of it." So
I've seen some of the films, but I didn't know there was a show. I definitely would like to give that a go.
Oh, it's an Apple Plus show. The writing is very good. They get the background characters from the American films, the ones that came out with the Bryan Cranston one from 2014 up until now, the God vs. Kong ones. They have the background characters as the main characters in the story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
I'm definitely putting that on the list.
And they tell their tales, yeah. Which I thought was really interesting. I've never seen a series do that, actually get the actors and do the story.
Yeah, I guess when they tend to do spin-off things, you tend to find that they've replaced the main actors, or they just have them voicing over stuff, which can be
or do an entirely
a little bit disheartening, you know?
Yeah, or do an entirely different story.
Yeah, or like it goes completely off the rails and you're like, this isn't what I signed up for.
When I looked it up, it has an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes for both the critics and the audience, which that never happens.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good indicator that you should watch.
And then again, same time the show came out, the Godzilla minus one comes out, and again, I've been hearing nothing but good reviews about that. I'm gonna try to see that within the next like 2 or 3 weeks, or just wait until it comes on demand. Because the movies have been coming on demand within a month in theaters.
Oh, will we be getting a Godzilla special?
What was that?
Will we be getting a Godzilla special?
Oh, wait,
I'd watch that.
Yeah. All right. So the creator, or I want to know your thoughts before I tell you mine, because I've seen it. I've seen it 4 or 5 times. I've seen it twice by myself, and 3 other times watching it with family members. That's how much I love it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It was really good. I was pleasantly surprised because I kind of tried to avoid any spoilers or any sort of stuff like going in because I wanted to have like a fresh perspective, I guess. And I thought it was really good. Like, especially finding out afterwards that it's its own IP. It wasn't like made from a book or anything else.
New actors, all new, like nobody famous was in it. Yeah,
I thought it was really nice. I think the story was like a little bit cliche in some points, and then other points
AI story.
Which was kind of topical, I suppose, with like current world events and things, with like the Actors Guild strikes and sort of people not really being too happy with AI being in like creative works. But yeah, I think overall it was a really solid story.
All right. So, I want to go over what I thought. I loved the cops, not the cops, the soldiers. The one that looked like Jane Lynch but wasn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because my mom watched that Glee show. I did it when it was on, but the Jane Lynch, with the blonde short hair. I loved her. I loved her character from the villain throughout the series. Because, like when she brought back that one guy's girlfriend just to get information out of her, and spoiler, just to shoot the in the head.
Oh yeah, are we allowed to give away parts of the story, or
no, this is a spoiler. Like if you're watching this, spoilers away. Yeah, you can give me your thoughts on spoil. Yeah, this is a spoiler like TED Talk.
Yeah, spoiler zone, no spoiler-free zone. Yeah, cool. I really did like the twist of like Namato was the daughter, like it was her the whole time, and that she'd been sort of stuck. And sort of stuck with the monks, and you couldn't really. It was kind of like a do they don't they take her off life support sort of situation.
And then finding out that it was an actual human error and not the robots that caused destruction, because they said it early on in the film, and then once you find out that they're actual like robot monks, that the human soldiers were legit just straight up killing, I got pissed off at that scene. Like those are just peaceful monks and they're robots.
I know, it's like classic humans, right?
But again, like I just love, like I said, even though they're villains, I just love them as being like the soldiers were just fucking crazy. I thought from the when the one guy when she took the brain out of his for like 10 seconds, you can bring them back. That's
such a cool concept.
That's half of what you're gonna get, right? Is like tell them whatever such and such that I love them. That's what you're gonna get half the time.
Oh yeah, and like if they died in a horrible way, of course, when they come back, quote unquote, they're gonna be like, "Oh God, like ow," like you're not probably gonna get coherent thoughts.
Half the time is them gonna be remembering their death, and then the other half is gonna be like, "Tell such and such I love them," and like a third of that's gonna be like telling you the information.
Yeah, so like you kind of need more than like 10 seconds.
But then again, though, like bringing somebody back from the dead at the same time, like they had to figure that out too. So like probably 10 seconds is probably all they could have gotten.
Yeah, you got your limitations. I mean, he's not gonna stay there for like an hour and like recite everything, I suppose.
I've seen movies where they've done that, but like this is more like a realistic, like I said, type setting. Where, like I said,
Yeah.
I've seen this 5 times. I love it. So, like I said, the
Yeah, it
soldier,
was
the
good.
soldier storyline, crazy. U.S. obviously the bad guys.
Yeah.
Good old. US.
Sorry.
No, yeah, no. I don't represent the troops over here. But the when they were attacking the like I said, just sending out the. What do you think of the scene? Like I said, the actual like suicide bombers, the robots that they were sending. That one scene, you know, what I'm talking about the actual like bombs. The
Yeah,
sentient
like
bombs. Yeah.
it's crazy. I remember like the scene where they had like the cleanup, like at the beginning, where they were talking like
Oh
they
yeah,
were going through all like the
like,
rubble and stuff,
where's
like
Amy?
post
Where's
that,
yeah, where's
and
Amy?
like
Look at where's the child? I need to protect the child.
I know, like you
That
kind
was
of feel
fucking
awful.
human. Yeah.
Like, oh, it's just a robot. It's just a robot. Like, well, clearly it's got some sort of compassion and caring.
I thought of this as I think you've heard of the show Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Not the 80s version, the 2004 one. That's the show I think is better than The Walking Dead. It's another AI war show. Has Edward James Olmos in it as one of the main characters. But I thought of that like that.
Yeah. I have very like surface level knowledge of Battlestar Galactica,
Oh,
but
yeah,
yeah, I get what you
yeah.
mean.
It's a show I think is better than The Walking Dead.
That was very high praise.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I love it. Like I've seen it 5 times. So yeah.
Yeah, like when you see the what do they call them? Simulants?
Yep.
The AI people,
Yeah.
like you see them like bombing the city, you like your blood runs cold and you're like, oh my god, like this is so much destruction. And then it like cuts to the scene where you see them going through and you see the AI like simulant robot that's like, oh, you know, I need to look after the child. It's like it makes it a lot more complicated. You kind of feel for the simulant characters as you go through the movie.
Yep.
Like initially you're like, oh well, you know, they try to kill humans, so of course they're bad, evil guys, but then it's never that simple, right?
Yep. It yeah.
And like the bad guys, they don't pretend that they're not bad, really.
Oh,
Like
well, I mean,
even the main character, he's not a good person,
well,
but
the main character, the black guy, yeah. Even he tried to deliver the little girl over in the very beginning.
yeah, he is like fully ready to shoot that kid.
Oh
like,
yeah, no. When he found him, yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of really bad things. So like, it's a degree of like you're not really feeling that bad for him and what he's also done, but it is very satisfying that he gets his ending.
He just wants his wife.
Yeah, that's it. And like, I feel like we can kind of relate that you just want to be close to the people that you love, sort of thing.
And then, big spoilers, when he does get his wife, they both die in each other's arms.
Yeah, so like it is nice that he got to see his wife again and they have that sort of their story is finished, but they're together sort of thing. Or together but not together, you know what I mean?
But that was a big plot thing though, because they said it only remembers the last like 30 seconds of her life when he come back for 10.
Yeah.
And she was in a vegetable state, so like would she really like remember his name and shit?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I suppose her last thoughts would be like prior to the nomad sort of shooting them, like attacking them.
Getting into that vegetable state.
Yeah, so she might have like just kind of been drooling a little bit while they were hugging and then they died. I'm not sure.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I mean, I seriously think it's a really good all-round film. Like, I don't think there's anything I could really be like, that's really awful, you know?
it's something that surprised me. I was just scrolling through Amazon and I saw it and was like, threw it on. 2 hours went by. I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Did you hear like about the budget as well for this film was
Oh
quite
yeah, it
low?
was like $5 million or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, like it was done on a very low budget
they
and
spent all the
they
money
did
on
really
the
well.
CGI. Yeah,
Yeah, and it was all like cut first and they had the sort of the final cut to then add the CGI rather than doing extra where you didn't need to, which I think
or
is
like
really
you said
efficient.
earlier, spending all their money on like big actor names. They got all new actors. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I think there's a couple of names in there, like Ken Watanabe has been in quite a few things. Um,
Well, I should say not like new, but like unknown. Like yeah.
yeah, I feel like they're not as, I guess, well known, but they're still really good actors. I mean, even the child actor for
I think it would have been her
the
first film. She was not. She can't be any older than 10 or 11.
yeah, like for her like acting debut, that's pretty good as well. Like they chose right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're at the 20-minute mark.
Huzzah!
Is there any final words you want? Anything you want to promote? Say.
I just very happy to be here. But if you do happen to be on Twitch, my username is ribbonmochi. Come say hi. But yeah, definitely continue watching James's content. I think he's a really good creator.
I drop by her channel too every now and then. Yeah, I'll leave a link below.
Awesome, thanks.
I just want to shout out an amazing channel, James the Sheriff Dixon. Oh, he's such a great guy, and he is super cool for coming to the show. I'm glad I got to meet him in person, and you should subscribe.